Hi students, it's Arthur and we're going to talk about community service or community engagement in this module. So the assignment that we have in the class is assigned early in the class, and normally we have quite a lot of time between the beginning and the end of the course. If this is a summer session, it's not as long of course as it is for a normal semester, but we do introduce it early because it will take time for you to find the right kind of organization that you want to work for and make time in your schedules as well. So the community service assignment requires you to complete 2 hours of community service. It must be with a legitimate nonprofit organization. And if you have any questions about whether the organization you've chosen is going to be allowable for this, please reach out to me as soon as possible. Don't recommend that you do the volunteer work, then ask me, because only if you really want to do that, because if I don't approve of the organization, then you might have to go find 2 hours somewhere else. So in addition to that, if this class is during the summer session, the 2 hours of community service does not necessarily have to be done in Wilmington. If you are in a normal semester, then it must be done in Wilmington with some very rare exceptions to that. Just need to talk to me about that situation if we're in a normal semester. But in the summer semester, we know that this course will be asynchronous. And so if you are living in Raleigh and taking this class asynchronously, of course, you don't need to come to Wilmington to do this. So using Wavelength and Give Pulse, you'll be able to find a resource in your local area just by doing a search by your specific community. There are two requirements for this assignment that you have to do to show evidence that you've participated. One is a student form, which must be signed by an authorized sponsor or host from the organization. It cannot be another student. Sometimes we allow student organizations like Hawks Harvest. In some cases, a student can sign in those situations, but honestly, it needs to be from a person who is your sponsor for the day, that's kind of working with the volunteers. And the other thing that we need is a selfie photo with the student form. So when you're finding a time, you grab a few folks, take a picture. It's something you could also post on social media and your LinkedIn feed, things of that sort. It's a great way of starting to curate some content online. So take that selfie photo and use it for multiple purposes. But for the purpose of our assignment, it just needs to be clear that you're at the event. It's not just a photo of you somewhere. It actually should show you sort of working at the event. The rubric is also attached. As I say with most assignments, don't pay attention to the points because that might be different from what you see in your own syllabus. However, the elements of the assignment are going to be the same across the board in terms of what you need to do. So I think that just review the rubric and you should be in good shape. So community engagement really for UNCW is about creating students who are going to be stewards of the community, people who are going to be involved and engaged. And the objective of UNCW, on top of teaching you very relevant information for your career, but it's a collaboration between UNCW and its communities to create a mutually beneficial partnership. So yes, we want to prepare educated citizens, but we also want to prepare engaged citizens. Citizens who are able to understand the value of civic responsibility and how that can contribute to the public good. And so that's going to be the focus here. And one of the reasons we do this assignment in Business 206, we feel it's a great place to use a bad phrase perhaps, but kill two birds with one stone. We certainly want to teach you the benefits of being a strong civic participant, but we also want you to use this as a potential value for you in your job search. So when we talk about engagement can be done at a lot of levels. The one on the far left is where we would not like you to be, of course. But as you go through the spectrum of being engaged, we hopefully will move you to at least one of the two categories to the far right. Ideally, someone that you might find your calling, and it might be something that you do on a regular basis throughout your life to give back, and that's a very admirable thing. But when we're talking about the value of this, in terms of how this can help you in your job search, involvement can be viewed very favorably by hiring managers, and it can potentially give you an edge in the job market. So the couple of things that we're going to look at, I've got a list of 6 things. It's that hiring managers can see as very positive in you participating and actively in community service. It's going to be an evidence of soft skills. So community service demonstrates your ability to work well in teams, show empathy, communicate effectively, and potentially even lead initiatives or projects. And these are critical competencies in any professional setting. And so tangible experiences like volunteering can help these skills stand out more credibly on a resume, in an interview, in a lot of different ways, but it'll help create your personal brand and help you generate stories that are going to resonate with people who you are talking to. It's also going to demonstrate commitment and reliability. So regular involvement in community service shows a commitment to projects outside of one's immediate personal or professional interests. So it's just something that we see that you're volunteering for, that you're committed to, and it definitely shows well on you. It shows a level of reliability and dedication, and these skills are very highly valued in the workplace. In addition to that, it can show cultural and ethical fit. Many organizations prioritize corporate social responsibility. You'll see this as CSR on company websites, and they value employees who have a proven track record of community involvement. Such candidates are really seen as good fits for the company culture and ethos, and that can be a decisive factor when comparing you against someone you're competing against for a position. It's also a way for you perhaps to find companies that resonate with your set of values. A lot of companies that do volunteer, they support one or multiple organizations, and if those organizations resonate with you, this is an opportunity for you to engage with an organization that will be easy for you to speak about in an interview, but you can also potentially meet people from that organization and start networking and build your professional network for connections that can help you in the job search process. We also view candidates who are involved and engaged to have more well-rounded personalities. So we think it indicates you have an interest and a sense of responsibility beyond the workplace, and that's important. This well-roundedness really contributes to our view of you being capable of contributing positively to team dynamics and the company culture. Kind of the 5th reason is initiative and leadership. So volunteering involves lots of different skills in terms of identifying needs, planning projects, and leading initiatives, particularly if you decide to take a leadership role in these organizations. And all of these things are extremely valuable in the business world. So a candidate who's taken active roles in community service projects can be perceived as a very proactive person with leadership potential. And then finally, and most practically, it could differentiate you from other candidates. So if you're in a pool of similarly qualified people, community service can be a distinguishing feature that sets you apart. It'll add another dimension to your profile, showcasing a blend of personal values and professional skills that can be very, very appealing to hiring managers. In addition to that, to be a little bit more personal on this subject, we're kind of quick to jump about kind of the what and how in everything that we talk about in this class, but I really do want to focus on why we're doing it too, kind of why we get out of bed in the morning. And maybe this will help you find your why. I've talked to many students who have come back to me after being quote unquote forced to take this assignment, and they've come back to me with great stories that are really inspiring, that talk about how they were really moved and inspired by their participation, and they've chosen to continue to volunteer in these organizations. And that is just wonderful. They share with me great stories and how they feel coming off of these engagements. And it's something that I really encourage you to have an open mind to and think about what's passionate in your in your sphere that you might want to tap into, and this might actually help you find that passion. So what benefits can you enjoy with volunteerism? Basically all of these things, but essentially what we're going to be doing, it's just an extension of the things that hiring managers view positively. It's going to be a similar list. It's going to help you acquire new skills and perspectives, we hope. It's going to allow you to set yourself apart from others. We want you to discover new interests and maybe passions. And if that happens, maybe you're able to find your joy and fulfillment, your personal why. And then more practically speaking, it'll build your professional network and your personal brand, and certainly is going to be a resume builder for you. You can always use this information. It'll help you create great stories that you can use in your interviews, and it will show you as a very well-rounded individual on your marketing tools. So what's next? Start defining your why. Start looking for organizations that resonate with you. I encourage you to investigate at least 3 organizations before you participate. And as I said before, if it's an organization that you're not quite sure about, if it qualifies, if it's not an obvious nonprofit organization, for instance, just reach out to me for approval before you get engaged. And then start volunteering. So at this point, as we talked about the summer session, if you're a summer session or an asynchronous student, you don't necessarily need to do this locally. Otherwise, you will need to do this locally in the Wilmington area as part of our assignment requirements. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I look forward to seeing what all of you get involved with, and I will talk to you in the next presentation.